At this year's British Insurance Awards, Aviva walked away with 2 awards, including the highly coveted General Insurer of the Year award. To mark this achievement, I'm delighted to say that today I'm joined by Aviva's UK General Insurance CEO, Colm Holmes, to give us some insights into its success. Welcome, Colm.
Thank you.
So your BIA win is the culmination of work over a number of years. Can you explain a few key milestones that have helped you achieve this?
Sure, yeah. I think it starts back when we redefined the strategy, not long after Mark had arrived at Aviva and actually started to focus on our core strategy, which was digital first, the TCC, the True Customer Composite, and not everywhere. And we focused our business around that and the customer. And what we've done since then is redefine how do we want to present ourselves in the market. And we'll speak later about defy uncertainty. But as an organization, we wanted to put the customer right at the heart of everything we do. So what we looked at was, are our products the right level of products? Are our propositions the ones that will work in the market? Is the cover we're providing what the customer is actually asking for? So things like business interruption, we re-looked at. Is there sufficient cover? Is there enough insurance that people are actually buying on this? We looked at our interaction with brokers. So we looked at fast trade, we looked to digitize the interaction we had with those brokers. We established My Aviva to deal directly with our customers who want to come direct to Aviva. So, it was built off that base. We also invested heavily in protect, prevent, and fix, which for us is where insurance is actually moving to in the future. So it's less about dealing with customers after an event, and it's much more around risk management. So how do we as an organization ensure that if these events don't take place, wherever we can prevent them? So it's issues like thermographic imaging, it's the devices we use around flood, air quality, security in premises or in homes. And it's also when events happen, how quickly we react. So was our claim service what our customers were looking for? And what we did, we invested very heavily in that claim service to ensure, again, it was digitally enhanced, that it gave customers exactly what they wanted. We simplified the process by which they can actually make a claim. And in fact, we tried to get ahead of the claim itself. So, that was the basis of everything we did. And then coupled with that, we obviously wanted to ensure we had the best quality underwriting capability in the market. So we invested very heavily in our people to ensure that our people are, in fact, the best that a customer would expect to be dealing with when they call Aviva, when they digitally interact with Aviva, or where the brokers, speak to us directly at Aviva. And that, that is at the heart of everything we do, and that is what we've built our success on.
Your entry for the British Insurance Awards was centred around the subject and the theme of defying uncertainty. Can you explain in more detail what you mean by this?
Absolutely, yeah. Defy uncertainty is how we present ourselves externally to the market. And we looked at what is the role of insurance. And the role of insurance through the 320 years that Aviva has been in existence, but insurance has been around, is to actually look at the uncertainty in people's lives and help them manage that uncertainty. So for us, it's about defying that uncertainty, allowing people to sleep easily, if you like, put their mind at rest about, in the event of events happening in their lives, be that, illness in their health business, be that debt, or investing for the future, your children's education, your retirement, that we could actually help in managing that risk. And then through to general insurance, where, if you have a car accident, you have a flood in your home, you have other events take place in your business, and that means you can't actually operate as a business. How can we actually help each of those constituent customers continue to get on with their lives and continue to get on with their business after an unfortunate event taking place? So that became the heart of what we're trying to do, which is, how do we defy uncertainty on behalf of all of our customers, corporate and personal, and what is it we need to build that actually satisfy that? So it meant that we spent a lot more time looking at the products that we had in the market, and what we invested most heavily in was actually simplifying those products and looking to actually bring about a change in how we viewed risk. So we speak a lot less about underwriting risk and much more about risk management. So we use a lot of technology in doing that. We, thermographic imaging in our commercial business to see where there's faulty wiring or risk of fire, right through to leak bots in people's houses and Cocoon to measure air quality, risk of leak, etc. Because when all's said and done, the one thing all customers will tell you is they wish they hadn't had the event in the first place. So nobody's glad to have had one of these events take place and have a fix afterwards. But we do recognize when they do take place, it's important that we react very quickly. So we wanted to simplify what we do. We wanted to deliver to our customers what it is they were looking for, and we wanted to deal with issues that have existed in the market for quite some time around things like underinsurance, around issues like inability to get the right level of cover. And and it's great to see that the industry is also doing that. And you look at Flood Re that launched last year and how successful that has been in allowing customers to get insurance that previously was outside of their reach. So for us, that's at the heart of what we do. It's our social purpose. It's also the purpose of our business. And we spend a lot of time talking about prevention being better than cure, and that's where we're investing our money, is to try and make sure these events don't take place, but where they do, we need to deal with them very efficiently. And we often we hear other insurers talk about settling claims within, I think it's seconds now. They talk about, we actually pride ourselves on the fact that we try and settle the claims before people actually know they've had an event. So we're on the ground before the floods happen. We're talking to our customers before they realize who they're even insured with. We're helping them in advance of a flood move their furniture, get ready for when the floodwaters do come, and have people on the ground immediately. And we pride ourselves on being first there and first to get our people back into their businesses so they can continue to operate, and ensuring that they have the right level of insurance for when those events unfortunately do happen, that they can get on with their lives, get on with running their business after the event. And it's something we're very proud of, and it's something that we're very focused on, which is put the customer at the heart of what you do, think about their uncertainties, their risks, and focus on delivering against those.
You've already touched upon this, but speaking to the British Insurance Awards judges, Aviva's commitment to digital was very much seen as one of the core aspects of the General Insurer of the Year win. Why is digital so important to Aviva's success?
The reason why it's so important to us is because it's so important to our customers. I mean, the reality is now that our broker partners, our strategic partners, our direct personal lines customers all want the same thing. They want to be able to deal with us in a digitally enhanced way. They want instant access to information. They don't want to be inundated with large amounts of paper. They want to be able to make their claim online, deliver what's needed online, and get a settlement online. So for us to be relevant to our customers, we recognized some years ago that digital was key to what we did. And Mark Wilson, our group CEO, very clearly made a statement that to get digital to where it needed to be, we needed to pull it away from the business somewhat. And what we did was set up our digital garage down in Hoxton. We also now have one in Singapore, and we have a digital garage in Toronto. And they're focusing on innovation around digital, but around insurance. So it's not digital for the sake of digital. But the people in the garage are not your typical insurance people. So you'll have 50% of the people will come from underwriting backgrounds, indemnity management background, pricing background. So we have plenty of actuaries still down there. You got plenty of accountants and plenty of underwriters. What you also have down there is people who came out of the gaming environment. So people who were previously building, Call of Duty or one of those other digital games. You've got people who specialize in digital marketing, people who specialize in digital technology and delivery. We've also got behavioral scientists looking at how customers want to interact, what it is they're looking for. So we built a whole environment that we could allow digital to flourish in. Then we took that innovation and put it back into the business so that, we're delivering fast trade to our brokers. We're delivering risk portals for our corporate customers. We have claims portals. So digital is something that exists throughout our business, but we innovate it in a garage where we can allow people to, test and learn and figure out what is the next solution that the customer wants. Because if we don't react quick enough, I can guarantee you the customers will react. And that's what they tell us, is that, nobody has any patience these days. But Unfortunately, customers are no different to the way we live our lives ourselves, which is we like things on demand. We don't want large quantities of paper getting delivered to our house, and we want to get value for money in what we have and delivered in an easy way for us. And that's why digital is very much still at the heart of everything we do within Aviva.
Now, a business is only as good as its staff. And again, another aspect that really impressed the British Insurance Award judges was staff engagement. Could you give us a better understanding of what makes, how Aviva makes sure its employees are so committed to its customers, or as committed as they can be to its customers?
Sure. Put simply, we do engagement surveys the same as most other companies, but we took it one step beyond that, and we set up Cultural Action Task Force, or CATS, as we called them. And the senior executive in Aviva lead on this. And we push this down into the organisation about what does Aviva stand for? What are our values? What is the culture we want to have within the organisation? And we built the customer centricity into everything we do from our people's perspective. So we tried to take away the hierarchy of top down and push accountability down to the people on the front line and invest most heavily in the technology they have, so that, it's almost embarrassing that it's not that long ago where if a customer phoned us for a GI product, we couldn't tell whether they had a life product, a health product, an investment product. With Aviva, the customer knew what they had, but we didn't. So, very simple things that, the lack of customer centricity meant that we operated in silos. So what we've done is spoken to our people, and the one thing that you find when you go to any of our frontline people is what they love to do is help customers. There's nothing more rewarding when they have a call from somebody who's had an unfortunate incident, or and they're able to help them. They're able to fix it. And I get letters frequently sent to me by customers, thanking Aviva for the work that individuals have done on our front line for helping them, save their wedding, or, during the floods, somebody's 25th wedding anniversary, we were able to find a restaurant so the show could go on, or, getting a business back up operating and cutting them that check that they need on day one so that they can operate post the cleanup. And you get that feedback. That's why we're in insurance, right? That's the value insurance gives to customers. And, once we brought our own people into the center of how do we develop our culture and what is our values, it's actually a lot more straightforward than it used to be. So, we reward people for doing what's right. That does not always mean they follow some of the old rules that have existed, but we say to them, do what you know is right for the customer. So, often in travel probably being an easy example where, there's unfortunate events overseas and people will call and say, am I covered? Now, the strict wording of the policy will say they're not, but we take a view that, well, you will be covered, and we'll make that announcement, you are covered for this. But this is just about doing what's right. When people buy their insurance, what was their expectation in terms of cover? So it's focusing on the customer means that our people feel much more engaged in the business because they are genuinely the owners of the business from a customer perspective and from my perspective. Because there's one thing I cannot do is actually deal with the front line of the business. But if we have well-engaged, happy staff who know what they're doing is adding value, engagement becomes much easier. Not saying we're there yet. We have a hell of a lot of work still to do. But I think we're on the right road, and we'll continue to invest in training. We'll continue to invest in technology. That means that our frontline staff and our customers always are focused on the important thing of let's make this right, and let's make it right very quickly, rather than the old days of many weeks and months of complexity around making a claim at an insurance company.
So Aviva sponsored the Insurance Broker of the Year award at the British Insurance Awards. Why is it important to support an award like this?
People often talk about, digital's about direct to customer, and it's not. And, we've been very clear with the market that we're channel agnostic. So customers choose how they want to interact with Aviva. What we also know is 85% of our business comes through intermediated partners, be that our strategic partners, affinity partners, or by far the biggest cohort of partners is our brokers. And we're very proud of the fact that we've had very long-standing relationships with most of the brokers we do business with, and we work together to do what's right for the customer. Now, we do work with brokers who share our values. So not all brokers share our values, and we don't want to do business with them, quite frankly. So if they've got alternative reasonings for their business model that is not focused on delivering service to the customer, that won't fit with Aviva. We'd rather not do business with them. But the vast bulk of the brokers we deal with have exactly the same interests as we do, which is, how do I provide the right level of service and advice to our customers? And increasingly, you see customers are searching for that advice and are looking for brokers who can actually give them the necessary advice they need to ensure that they're actually properly insured. So we develop a lot of our propositions with the brokers, we develop our products with the brokers, we embed our underwriters with the broker community, because those relationships have lasted for many hundreds of years, and they'll continue to last going forward, because whilst we may end up with autonomous cars, the complexity of risk will continue. So it'll be different risks, be that cyber risks or risks that we haven't even foreseen yet today. The role of brokers will become far more important in terms of advisory, and what we do is work with them to recognize that. So for us, when we look at the sponsoring awards, we want to recognize that the good work that most of the broker community are doing in the market today, the vast, vast majority of them. And there's nothing more satisfying than seeing the best of those brokers actually getting awarded for doing the best things in the market. Because if we're going to change the reputation of insurance, we need brokers and insurers working hand in hand to actually achieve that. And I actually think we have seen that step forward in the brokers and insurers understanding what's important to customers and ensuring that we put forward the best face of insurance in the market, rather than in the old days I think we were lacking in terms of our customer centricity.
Okay, well, Colm, unfortunately, that's all we have time for.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us those insights into Aviva's success. If you'd like to know more information about the British Insurance Awards, go to www.insuranceawards.com. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.